Welcome back. Hopefully, you've had a bit of a break since section 1, and you're eager to start building something with the Instagram API. In this section, we'll be looking at configuring our application to connect to Instagram and pull down the latest popular images. We'll be creating a page to show these images. And finally, we'll incorporate a cache memory to reduce the number of requests to the Instagram API. In this video, we're going to be registering an application to use with the Instagram API, installing a module from npm to help us access it, and making the call to the API to see what information it returns for us to use. Firstly, we need to register an application. This will allow us to access the Instagram API. Visit instagram.com/developer. I'm already logged in, but you may have to create a new account or log in the account you already have. Click on Manage Clients, then register a new client. Give your application a name and a description. Now, the website URL is the URL where the application would be deployed, but now since we are still in development, let's just give it localhost. And our application runs on port 8000. Then give a redirect URL. This is where the users will be redirected to when they log in using their Instagram. Here, I'm giving it localhost:8000/oauth/done. Press enter, fill in the CAPTCHA, and click on register. Congratulations! You have successfully registered on Instagram application. Now that we have created an application, we have two pieces of important information that will need to request data from the API: client ID and client secret. These are used to identify our application when we authenticate against the Instagram API, which is OAuth 2 API. We could just write all the code to deal with the API ourselves, but instead we'll use npm to install the Instagram node module and use that. If you want to have a look at the library we're using, you can find it on GitHub. Reading the code of modules that you use is always a good exercise to assess quality and make sure they do what you need. As always, we need to require the module and configure it. Let's start by opening app.js. We write var ig equals require Instagram node.instagram. You may notice that it says .instagram at the end of our require statement. If you're interested in learning why, take a look at the factory design pattern. Next, we need to configure it. In this situation, that involves using the client ID and the client secret that we obtained earlier. That authorizes us to make requests to the API. So let's start by pulling down the most popular images at the moment and logging them to the console. To do this, I use ig_media_popular. If you want to know more about the functions that we will be using, documentation is available in the Instagram Node project's README file on GitHub. Now that we've got that, let's boot our application and see what happens. As you can see, when the application boots, we see the data almost immediately. Good job! We just authenticated with the Instagram API and grabbed the most popular images. That wasn't too hard, was it? Today, we started by registering an application with Instagram's OAuth 2 API. Then, we installed Instagram Node to work with it. We wrote 6 lines of code to authenticate with and pull data from the Instagram API. One of Node.js's biggest strengths is npm, and with the wide variety of packages available. Fortunately, most of them are very easy to use with Express. Next time, we'll write a bit more code, so instead of just showing the returned data, we'll actually show images on the page inside our application.